Miami's opener this season is against the big, bad Alabama, last year's national championship winning team. This will be the Canes' toughest season opener in program history, no doubt. But you probably already know that, right? So let me tell you something that you don't already know. I don't care if we lose. What's going on, Canes fans? Now let me finish that sentence before everybody freaks out on me. Go ahead and backspace on your comment because I know you're furiously typing after you heard the little initial thing at the video and probably as soon as you saw the thumbnail or maybe the title. I don't care if Miami loses to Alabama if we beat North Carolina. So give me just a few minutes to explain. Let's say that we come out and actually shock the world. We beat Alabama in our 2021 season opener. Bama will most likely start the 2021 season ranked as the number 1 or number 2 team in the country. So if we were to beat them, this would be a huge boost for our program. And honestly, in more ways than one. Player and coaches' confidence, a little bit of respect from the media, and honestly just proving all of the haters wrong, showing that we can actually open a season with an SEC opponent and win. But answer this for me, Canes fans. If we beat Bama, but then later on in the season we lose to North Carolina, who let's just say ends up running the table in the Coastal and then in turn competes in the ACC championship game against Clemson, what good did beating Bama really do for us? Now this is also assuming a lot, and I completely understand that. We are assuming that North Carolina is the team to beat in the Coastal. And I'm also assuming that the UNC game is what decides our fate for the ACC championship game. Win and beat UNC, we're in. Lose to UNC, we're not in. And this could very well be the case when we look at last year with North Carolina and where they were in the ACC. And if we look at some of their returning players, mostly on offense, right? Quarterback and offensive line. Defense was suspect in 2020 and is still suspect in 2021, but we find ourselves in a place where we have a lot of returning starters, but we have some issues at some positions as well. But anyways, that's a whole nother topic and a whole different video. Now, to some people, I'm preaching to the choir. You're like, Coop, listen, I get it. That makes total sense. I'm right there with you. But you have to understand that there are people out there. Hear me out for a second. I see the posts on social media and all the talks online. There are people out there that would be fine with us being second, third, or heck, even fourth in the Coastal if it meant that we got a victory against the big, bad Alabama at the beginning of the season. Basically what I'm trying to say, guys, is I'd rather be first in the Coastal and competing in the ACC championship game over beating the Crimson Tide any day. And if your response is, Coop, why not both? Let's beat Bama and run the Coastal. My response to you would be, let's do it. Let's ride. Of course that would be the better scenario. Of course that's what I actually would prefer to happen, would be for us to beat Alabama and represent the Coastal in the ACC championship game. Our end goal is to win a national championship, and that's a lot easier to do if we just take care of business and go undefeated, whether it's an ACC game or a non-conference game. But I still wanted to put this opinion out there and see how you guys feel about it, because I am seeing so many people that would take us losing to North Carolina and Virginia Tech as long as we beat Bama. Us losing to Virginia and Pitt as long as we beat Bama. And I just think that that's crazy. Some Miami fans want to see us beat a big SEC team so bad that they forget about everything else and they're willing to trade it all for that one big opening game this season. We need to make sure that no matter what else happens, we control our own destiny in the ACC this year. I'm sick and tired of relying on other teams to lose for us to maybe make it in. I want to see us take control of the Coastal and jump in the driver's seat. I don't want the end of the 2021 season to be sneaking up on us and we're having to do all these complex mathematical equations of this team losing to this team, and then if that team in turn lost to this team, but then also beat these two teams, then maybe we might make it in. I hate that feeling. When looking at the big overall picture for the Canes this year, running the ACC and winning the Coastal and being at the top in our conference honestly is the most important thing. We're going undefeated and running the table on everybody that's on our schedule this season. Of course, I get that that's the most ideal scenario, but just humor me for a minute, Canes fans. And don't worry, we'll talk more about the Miami-Bama matchup in the near future. I personally don't feel that the Tide are quite the unstoppable force that they were last year, but that's for some future live streams and videos. But for now, just let me know how you feel about this topic. Would you rather, yes, it's kind of one of those videos. It's one of those would you rather scenarios. Would you rather have Miami beat Bama but not make it to the ACC championship game? Or would you rather have Miami lose to Bama but then take down North Carolina in the Coastal and most likely then compete for the ACC championship game, because UNC will probably be our biggest conference game in the 2021 season? And that, again, guys, is why I'm specifically saying I'll take losing to Bama if we beat North Carolina, because I'm thinking that North Carolina is going to be the team to beat in the Coastal. Obviously, we need to also take care of Virginia and Pitt and Virginia Tech. I get that, but I'm just saying that North Carolina is going to be our biggest competition, toughest game in our conference games. That's just my opinion. That's how I feel about it. So again, one last time for everybody, just so no one takes this whole video out of context, I would rather us beat Alabama and beat everyone else on our schedule and go undefeated, make it to the college football playoffs, compete for a national championship. That's the ideal scenario if all of the stars and planets align and everything works out for us. And maybe it does. If you go back and look at previous videos on my channel, my prediction 5 years ago was that Miami would win the national championship this year. I have the year 2021 circled for the Miami Hurricanes. In 2021, we kick off that season against Alabama. That was actually my official prediction 5 years ago, that we would win the national championship in the 2021 season. So we're going to see what happens. If I was right 5 years ago, I don't know. But I just really think I'm hyped, right? I'm going to try my best to be at the Alabama-Miami game. And you have no idea, because my father-in-law is a huge Alabama fan. And he's going to come down with me to the game. And I would love nothing more than to just rub it in his face as we're just smashing Alabama, right? That would be huge. Being able to actually talk some trash on a big stage like that. And that's a 3:30 game, I get it. But the world's going to be watching Miami versus Bama, because you best believe that if Miami loses to Alabama, the world is going to laugh in our face and say, of course you couldn't compete on this big stage, an SEC opponent, right? You asked for it, and you still couldn't perform. You weren't up to the challenge. But you also best believe that if we do take down Bama, everybody might kind of give us a second look. So I'm excited. I'm pumped for it, but I have kind of given my spiel on it. If Canes fans or other fans take this out of context or take it the wrong way, it is what it is. I'm being blunt in 2021. This is the new Coach Coop. I'm being straight up with you guys, and it is what it is. So let your feelings be known down in the comment section below. Make sure that you check out the channel every Friday night, 8 p.m. Eastern time. I am simulating, just like we did last year, Miami Hurricanes' entire 2021 season with updated rosters on the NCAA 14 game with the college football revamped mod. So that means better animations, better graphics, better play calling, and it's a lot of fun. Miami actually competed against Alabama in the simulation game last week. You have to check it out if you want to see how it turned out. Did we get the dub? Did we not? So it's a really good time, really fun stuff on Friday nights at 8 p.m. But until the next one, guys, remember, we're all one big happy college football family. But at the end of the day, I got to say, it's always better when you get to rep the U. Coach Coop, peace out.